I want us to be well dressed for global competition, so we don't get lost here and surpassed by others. And this is why we need trade agreements. Olaf has pointed it out already, how important it is. But most people do not want to hear anything anymore about trade agreements. They think that European values are going to be deteriorated and that the governments, Commission and all of them are playing along the game of international big capital. That's not what it's about. Every billion euros which Europe exports into other parts of the world means creating 14,000 new jobs. The more trade agreements are well done, and standing up for European norms and standards, all of that brings strength to the European labour market. And so that's why it's so regrettable that the US-American president is imposing punitive tariffs on steel and aluminium coming from Europe. I warned him here in Hamburg. I warned him at the G20 summit. Obviously, he wasn't impressed by my warning because he still did what he is planning now to do. But the European Union will have to take a stand against this plan, because we cannot just stand aside and watch how, for some reason, the industrial location Europe is going to be fragilized and tens of thousands of jobs are lost in Europe. And Europe needs to defend itself against this, and we will defend ourselves. So we're also going to impose punitive tariffs. It's very easy. We have to do that. We will impose punitive tariffs on motorcycles, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, jeans, Levi's jeans. We can be that stupid. We have to be that stupid. I would have preferred us not having to do that. But I see with a burning concern, actually, that in some parts of the world, populism is becoming official politics, and not only there, in part even here. And xenophobia, racists, those who don't like others, can hardly be stopped. And at some point, classical parties, popular parties, will try to imitate that populism. And I'm telling you, those who imitate populists will become populists themselves. And you will only see the voters from behind. You need to respect the voters, but you cannot run behind them. Sometimes you need to step and stand in their way if you have a different message to tell them. And the populist danger is something we can face in the future. I just came back from the Balkans. I went 4 days to the Balkans, and these countries, they need a robust, serious European perspective, not accession tomorrow morning, but accession according to the rules. And if these Western Balkan states have this European perspectives, then on the Western Balkans, if we don't give them the perspective, exactly will happen what we have experienced in the 90s with Joschka. It's our task to export the European Union to the Western Balkans. And it's not acceptable that because these states are not resolving their border conflicts, they have to solve their border conflicts before they accede to the European Union. We cannot admit instability of Western Balkans, importing that instability to Europe. That cannot happen. And with all those things, we're having difficulties. After the fall of the wall in the periphery of Europe, we have now, meanwhile, 27 new member states, 27 additional actors in European politics. But Europe is, in terms of its basic architecture, is not geared to world politics, but that's what we need now. Some are withdrawing now, but some others are getting stronger. But I would like Europe to really go and take these empty spaces. Europe needs to do that because the world is looking on us. Africa, Asia. When I travel there, I'm always impressed how impressed Africans and Asians are by Europe. They admire us. They say, what you do, no one did that before. And then, if I then come to Brussels and hear what bad is about Europe, of course, not everyone was good. I wouldn't have become president of the European Commission if I had thought it's just about painting the walls in different colors. No, we need to raise some new walls, but not against each other. You do Europe together against others. And this is why we need to learn in foreign politics to speak with one voice. It cannot be that one country avoids a decision about human rights in China because they have large investors from China, or another country takes a decision on the problems that they have in South Asian Sea and want to avoid that decision just because they want to be good friends with China. No, we have to speak with one voice, and we can do that without massively change the treaties. There is one article, it's 39 point, I don't know, 1 point what? 31.3. That's why you have a general secretary here, so they can whisper you which one. The article stipulates the Lisbon Treaty that the European Council can unanimously decide in which areas what can be decided in the future with a simple majority. And I would like the European Council and all Prime Minister are calling for increasing efficiency. Take that decision, determine exactly where can we in the future take a decision with a qualified majority, instead of always having to take unanimous decision. And being able then to have a claim to leadership for the world. Yes, and then we have another painting here, a bishop who was in a good mood and got disappointed when he came here and tried to bless people from Hamburg. And he ask himself, why didn't they kneel down? They just kept standing, and that's what people from Hamburg do. They just keep up on their feet. And I would like us in Europe to do the same. If we stand with our 2 feet on the ground, we need to have a clear view on Europe. What is Europe? Europe is the smallest continent, 5.5 million square kilometers. Russia, 17.5 square kilometers. Any more questions? We are the smallest continent, and we are losing relative influence in terms of global value. The share of Europe in global economy will decline from 23% down to 15%. And demographically, we are not fit either. At the beginning of the 20th century, we had a 25% share of European population in the overall population. At the end of this century, we will only have 5% of world population. No European country as of 2050 will have more than 1% of world population. In 20 years, none of our countries will be member country of G7. And now We once again try to be national states, all small little parts. We do not respect anymore the basic rights that we have established in European treaties. Now we play out of the playing field because it seems it's easier. No, this can't be. We need to be together and unitedly move Europe, because the world has a right to leadership demonstrated by Europe. Not dominating, but listening, guiding, not imposing, but having determination, respecting others. And that would actually be my wish for the Europe of the future, that we stand by each other more strongly. On one of the many doors here, it says, freedom achieved by the old ones may be preserved by the later world. And this is what it is about. We need to be clear that it was not our generation that put Europe back on track. It was the war generation, those coming back from war fronts and concentration camps. It was them who built up Europe and said never again war, and developed a political program from that. And that is something we all benefit from until today. I thank you for listening.